Privacy needs proof. Security needs practice. This is episode 1 of Data Protection Michael. Why this documentary exists. It is a faceless, evidence-led series about privacy, security, product readiness, and responsible YouTube practice. Its purpose is not to promise that every problem has been solved. Its purpose is to make the record visible, understandable, and useful. Too often, privacy and security are presented as slogans. A site says that information is protected. A product says that it is secure. A policy says that it respects people. Those statements may be well-intentioned, but intention is not evidence. Before a person relies on a claim, they deserve to know what supports it, what the claim does not prove, and what practical action should follow. That is the starting point for this documentary. Every chapter is built around 6 questions. What happened? Why does it matter? Who supports the statement? When was the source published or accessed? What evidence is available? And what should happen next? The distinction matters because not all statements have the same weight. A law or a privacy regulator can describe legal obligations. Government cybersecurity guidance can describe practical controls. Standards bodies can explain established security practice. University researchers can contribute expert perspective. Platform documentation can explain a service feature. Internal testing can show what was observed in one product. These sources can all be useful, but they should not be treated as interchangeable. This series labels the difference. A verified fact is tied to a source that directly supports it. An expert perspective identifies a person and institution. A recommendation is a practical next step, not a guarantee. A legal review label means the subject requires advice tailored to the organization, the purpose, and the applicable jurisdiction. That approach changes the conversation. Instead of saying, "Trust us," a project can say, "Here is the source, here is the date, here is the limit, and here is the decision we are making." This is especially important when the subject is personal information. People cannot make informed choices from vague language. Teams cannot responsibly operate a privacy program if they do not know what data they hold, why it is used, where copies exist, and who can make corrective decisions. The same principle applies to security. A user interface is not authorization. A display name is not identity. A backup is not recovery unless it can be restored. A health page is not useful if core storage is unavailable. These are not dramatic claims. They are practical tests of whether a system is honestly reporting what it can do. The documentary also keeps its limits visible. It is educational. It is not legal advice, a security certification, or a substitute for professional review. Its internal product findings are evidence from a beta audit, not an independent public certification. Where a fact still needs verification, the documentary says so. For this first episode, the action is simple. Read the evidence label before relying on a statement. Open the source record. Check its author, institution, date, and original link. Then decide what is established, what remains uncertain, and what needs to happen next. That is why this documentary exists. To replace vague promises with a traceable record, a clearer public conversation, and small practical steps that can be checked. Sources and dates are in the description. The full reference directory is available at Data Protection Michael.